Hello, hello, and welcome to Caribbean Blend. If you just tuned in, and guess who I have? The man of the hour. I have Dano on the line, and we're going to do his telephone interview right here on Caribbean Blend Radio Show. I'm going to give you a snippet of his steel pan, steel drum, Harry Belafonte, Marianne, Calypso by Dano's Island Sound, so you can hear a snippet before we can say hello to him, if that's okay. Yes, the masterpiece behind that is Dano. So Dano's Island Sounds has been right on, okay? Hello, Dano, can you hear? Are you?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Thank you.
All right, so welcome to Caribbean Blend. Every Tuesdays from 1 to 4:30. I'm going to put you live on the air, and I would like to tell the folks what inspired you to start playing steel drums. I know I read your bio, and it went all the way back. It says Dano, known as Dan Lancelot, American musician, multi-instrumentalist, and composer. And I know you wear other titles also. So tell us from the very start, tell the folks how you started your wonderful endeavor career. Go ahead.
Okay, so I grew up as a rock and jazz musician, and I was fortunate enough to play in a lot of rock bands, and a couple of them got signed. And I originally grew up in Long Island, New York, and I remember the steel pan players on the street corners. And it was, a time when the pan was just starting to get really popular. So I guess that was always in the back of my mind. And I've always loved the sound that it creates, and it's a very happy sound. It's hard to be in a bad mood when you hear it. And so to make a long story short, I played with a couple of different bands playing drum set. And then around 1999, I made a switch to world music, and I started learning with an amazing steel drummer in Phoenix who plays all the steel drums and has been to Trinidad many times and played in the panoramas many times. And I was playing drum set in his band, and then he invited me to play tenor, which is the lead instrument that I play now. And so he was a great inspiration for me. And then I've always been a recordist. Every band I've ever been in, I've always been into recording and producing. And so when I started doing it out here in San Diego, I just started producing tracks, and I would go to shows and I'd play the steel drum with the tracks, and I kind of carved a little piece of the business for myself out here because I kind of do it a little bit differently.
Wow. So now I've seen you play different pieces of the instrument in different movies, and for Oprah Winfrey and Dr. Oz, right?
Yeah. So like when I do that I'm trying to think. I think only one of those particular, they're called cues. A cue is a musical piece that doesn't have lyrics and vocals. And most of the stuff that I do for that, it doesn't even have steel drum because it's not what they want. They pretty much tell you what they want. I mean, they tell you exactly what they want, and if you nail it, then they use your music.
Wonderful.
So that's just a whole other piece of, of the business that I guess I'm involved in.
with you playing Brown Skin Girl, Dano's Island Sounds, if everyone just tuned in, that's who's on the line all the way from San Diego, California. Right here on the Caribbean Blend Radio Show. You also Jump in the Line is another Shake, Shake, Shake Sonara. And Clocks, Coldplay, Yellow Bird, and these are all towards the steel drum, right?
Correct. Pretty much all that stuff is focusing on the steel pan for the melody.
So, you know, how I stumbled upon you online on YouTube is because I wanted to play some steel pan for Father's Day weekend coming up. And I says, let me see what's out there. So I start surfing YouTube and your name came up. I start listening to your songs and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really nice stuff that you have out there. And, you know, I admire your work and I see you have a lineup of shows. I'm like, you're so busy. How do you keep up?
You know, it's, I'm happier when I'm busy because at least I'm doing something that I love. But, you know, the music business kind of comes like it's either not raining or it is raining. And right now it's raining. I just have tons of events. And then, you know, there'll be a while where I'm not playing. But, yeah, it's just, you know, if it was any other job, yeah, I mean, that would be a good question, like how to keep up. But, you know, I love to do it, you know, and I love to play and make people happy. And
right, because I was looking online, and right after you finish talking with me, is the show Mission Bay Real Estate Association? That's where you're gonna be performing.
Yeah, I have two events today,
right.
And I woke up today not feeling so good.
Oh no!
I think I caught a little cold or something.
Oh, wow.
So since I get done with the interview, soon. I'll probably take a nap for a couple of hours, and then I got to go.
Right. And then you're also going to be at the Park Hyatt Vieira Resort and Palm Court Yard.
Right. Exactly.
And that's later tonight.
That's later tonight.
10 p.m. So I love steel pan. You know, I'm from Guyana, South America, and when I heard your pieces, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have to see, you know, if you're going to be available to do this interview. I look online today, your website. Whoever's doing your website, you know, compliments to them because they did an awesome job. It was really smooth sailing. I get to go through everything and, you know, it was understandable. So you got a lot of stuff for sale on there. So tell us a little bit what you're selling on there.
Thank you so much for the compliment. I appreciate that. I just redid the website myself.
Oh, you're okay.
Yeah, I redid it. I designed it, but I definitely had a coder helping me.
Oh,
and
nice.
And so kudos goes out to him. Really, he's amazing. But so yeah, there's a few things I'm selling. I guess I'm selling my music, and then I designed a steel drum mallet. For the tenor pan, and that's what I play. And I'm selling it on Amazon, and I'm selling it on my website. And I don't know, people seem to like it, so I keep on selling them, and so which means I have to keep making them. So.
Wow. So going back in your younger years, did any of the family got involved in the steel drums or anything, or is just you?
No, it's just me. I'm the only one. I'm pretty much the only one in the family that I could think of right now that is into music. My father sang. He had a really good voice, and but he wasn't really into music per se like I am. But yeah, it's just something on my own. I got kind of tired of touring with the rock band at that time.
Right. So it says here you were touring with the drummer for is it Slightly Stupid? Tell us a little bit about that.
Slightly Stupid is a band out here. They're a national act, and they're really big. They have a huge cult following, and they're like a reggae punk. I don't know how to explain it. They're crossover, okay. But it's a lot of reggae, and it's a lot of it's like a rock reggae. It's kind of like Sublime in a way.
Oh,
okay. The band Sublime, but they've carved out their own little niche for their sound and stuff. But I played with them just for about 4 or 5 months. When I first moved to San Diego, they needed a drummer. They were in a pinch.
Right.
Before that, I played in another band called Gloritone,
Yes,
And
I saw that.
and that's pretty much right when I got out of Glorytone. I found a steel drum at a music store that I was working at, and it just captivated me because it's something I guess that was always in the back of my mind. You know, I would love to play this instrument. And one came into a music store, and I try to remember now. I think I met the guy who actually brought it in, and I went to his place, and he showed me all the steel drums, and it turns out to be that gentleman I was telling you about earlier. His name is JT.
Right. So you started at a young age. I see here, age 12, started with drum lessons and all that good stuff, and guitar and piano, and so you're very talented in the musical department.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, there's people, there's so many, you know, musicians that are way better than me. I mean, especially the young kids that are coming out these days. They're just amazing.
Right.
It must be the YouTube generation, you know, they're able to watch everything.
You know, everybody's got their own style, their own flair, you know. Everybody, you know, so not everyone is the same. But, you know, I want to also touch on the TV and film aspect. What is that all about?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the last part.
The TV and film?
Oh, got it. So that's what I was talking about earlier, where I write musical cues for TV and film.
So you write these pieces, and then how does that work? They pay you, or you perform it, or what?
Yeah, it's all paid. It's like pro bono work. You know, I belong to a musical group called Studio 51 Music. That's just one of them that I belong to.
51.
And they're like a collection of all these writers, and then they have different styles that different writers are really good at, and they'll write for those styles. And there'll be, I mean, it's amazing how many different subgenres and subgenre from that genre. You know, it's just they're very specific of what they want. Like for TV, you know, like they want like something that might be menacing, but it needs to be a drone, and you know they'll tell you exactly what they want.
I know you said that earlier, but
yeah.
It's amazing that, you know, you can put those pieces in movies and, you know, different concert. And I am just in awe. I am admiring what you're doing. It seems, I know all this comes with experience and, you know, learning the pros and cons of how to do, you know, mix it up and all that good stuff. And any advice for, you know, that you like to share for the folks coming up and thinking about going into steel drums and all that good stuff that you do?
You mean to like actually do it for a living or something?
Right.
Or that's a good question. Yeah, I would say the best piece of advice is be yourself. And like you said earlier, you know, everybody has their own slant on things.
Right.
And if you could, you know, take from your past experiences, you know, whatever they may be, musically or not musically, you know, put that into your music. You know, and, you know, make yourself stand out from everybody else. There's a lot of clones out there that they're amazing. I've seen amazing steel drummers, but they kind of tend to sound like the guy that they really, really admire. Right. So they tend to sound just like that, instead of having their own sound. Right. And I would say that would be the best advice, just having your own sound. And
right, and I think I like your piece of sound that you have out. I mean, you have more than one pieces. It's hard for me to say, oh, I like this one. I think I love them all. So Dano's style, I think you put it well said right here in your mini bio here. Say Dano's style fuses the mood and rhythm of Caribbean with the energy of rock and roll. Versatile and imaginative, Dano's produces musical atmosphere to delight and electrify by combining the hooky melodies with driving rhythm. I think it's well said right there, Dano.
Yeah, my wife made that for me, you know. And I was like, you know, because it's hard to write. Yeah, it's hard to write in the third person, and she wrote that piece for me. And
nice. I think it was nice because like I said, you have so many aspects of it. It's hard to put like one word on it. You know what I'm saying? The way you bring all your pieces in.
Yeah, exactly. And I do come from a big rock and roll background. I mean, I spent many years in many different rock bands. They were all original. Most of them were all original rock bands. And I was lucky enough to get signed and with one of them, and then, and then go and tour with Slightly Stupid when they needed a drummer. And they wanted me to stay in that band, and I was going to, but they were just so much younger than me at the time. And I just moved to San Diego. There was kind of like they were 21 and I was 35, and it just, you know what I'm saying? The connection of,
right.
They were calling me dad,
Father, everybody's looking up to you. But that's what comes with experience, when folks find out you have experience, they kind of like look up and says, you know what, this guy is good at what he's doing. I better learn from him. So that's good that you have that out there that you can extend and help everyone, come together and bring up the next generation. In a beautiful world, make it peaceful. But before you go, is there, websites that you want to extend out for your fans to come and support you?
Yeah, the website that you were on is really the main website, and that's danosislandsounds.com. And that's with one N, so DANOSISLANDSOUNDS.com.
Okay.
Kind of a tongue twister.
And then you're on Twitter and Instagram and all those folks.
Right. I do most of my stuff, I would say, on YouTube and Facebook. And I just started to get into Instagram. I don't do much with Twitter, but I do have an account, and it's all there at the bottom of my page and my website.
You're right about the YouTube, because there's a lot of stuff I see that you have out there on YouTube.
Right, exactly, and I'm trying to do more and more and more. My next video that I'm going to put out will be Shake Sonora, jump in the line.
So I want to say thank you for putting WMUA 91.1 FM on your website. I saw that. I appreciate that very much.
Oh, no problem. I appreciate the interview, and I appreciate you taking the time to listen to my music. It means a lot to me.
Oh, you're very welcome. And I love something. The thing is that, I listen to other artists, but you have to catch me. There's something there that I have to be hooked on. If I don't get it, you're not going to see me reaching out to you. I don't want to sound bad or anything like that, but I fell in love with your pieces. And I says, you know what, I'm just going to say something nice about how I feel. And if the person comes back, then I know, they really mean something to them. And I can only reach out, you know what I'm saying, is the other person got to reach back if they wanted more attention. That's the way I look at it.
No, you've been great. I really appreciate, you allowing me to do this interview and explaining, the music and my style and stuff like that. And I appreciate you reaching out to me. And, yeah. And you said it. It really is doing it your own style. That's what I was trying to relate earlier.
Right.
So, like, I have a video called Red Red Wine, but I don't really play it like the traditional Red Red Wine.
You know what's coming up next? As soon as you hang up the phone, I'm playing UB40 Red Red Wine by Dano's Island Sounds, because that's like one that I'm hooked on, So, and then I'm playing some other Red Red Wine steel drums by another artist with more of a low key, and then I'll play the regular music itself, Red Red Wine by UB40. So I guess it's going to be Red Red Wine most of the time in the studio today with Caribbean Blend.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be, definitely.
It's all Father's Day. This is my whole Father's Day concoction going here with the wine.
That's right. So everybody at the end of the night, they're not going to understand, or at the end of the day, they're not going to understand why they're drinking red wine, right?
It's all about...
It's like subliminal messaging.
You're funny. So, is there any last words before you go?
No. I just wanted to thank you again for having me on. That was very sweet of you.
You're very welcome.
And everybody just listen to music and don't watch the news, and everybody will be a lot happier.
All right, but before you go, one thing all artists, musical artists, whoever comes on my show, they always got to do a drop. So do a drop with LisaL in it. And I just want to say one last thing is that There's always an open door policy right here on Caribbean Blend Radio Show for you, so don't hesitate to call in any time, okay, my dear?
Okay, thank you,
So
Lisa.
let's hear your jingle for LisaL in it. Go ahead.
Listen to LisaL. I forgot to call out. Is it WMUA?
That's quite all right. It is. You got it right. But just put LisaL in it. Let's go ahead. Let's hear it.
LisaL.
All right. So that's the jingle from Dano. That's the jingle from Dano. Dan Lancelot. Thank you so much for calling in. You have a blessed day. Good luck with your shows tonight, my dear. I hope you feel better soon.
All right. Thank you very much, and have a great day.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes, there you have it, folks. Dano's, he's all the way calling in from California, San Diego, California. I appreciate his time so much of him calling. What a wonderful person he is. And, he took the time out just to big up WMUA 91.1 FM on his website, which I think that was really, really nice of him. And, if you want to look at more of Dano's Island Sounds, you can, like he said, most of his information are on YouTube. You can Google his name. You can Facebook him and book him for your shows. He's going to be performing today at Park Hyatt Aviera Resort Courtyard, and that's from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. California. That's where he lives, and he's doing another show at the tomorrow. He's going to be at Sharp Hospital Living Donor Celebration from 6 to 7 p.m. And then earlier today, he's going to be doing another show from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. At Mission Bay Real Estate Association. So catch him there live and support him. He's a wonderful artist, drummer, instrumentalist, you name it, he's got it, and he just knew how to do it. And I think for me, coming from Guyana, South America, and loving the Caribbean music and steel pan music, I fell in love with all his pieces. So right now I'm going to play UB40 Red Red Wine by Dano's Island Sounds, and here we go. I'm going to rip it right now.